Hello, and once again, we are live with the Modern Mystery School UK EU podcast and YouTube channel. And today we are joined by Philip. Philip, how are you?
I'm very well, Market. Happy to be here again.
I know, and this is a topic that I think will touch many people's hearts because we know out there in the world that sometimes in life, loved ones, people that we care for, go through maybe some kind of, maybe an accident or an illness or something that requires them to seek medical attention. And we know that many out there are actually full-time caring, perhaps, for their loved ones. And this can be a very, very, stressful time, not just for the person going through the accident or the illness, etc., but also for the family around them. And it came to my attention that you had been and are still going through this journey, and you and I have spoken quite a lot about the rituals from our holy lineage, initiations, the healings, and things like that that you have been able to utilize along the way, alongside the medical treatment. So, of course, we want to be very clear that we're never saying, not to have medical treatment. What we're saying is, are rituals and energy healing any help for the patient, but also for the family? Would you be willing to share and tell us about your experience and story?
For sure. So we have now August. In January this year, I got a call from my mother that she doesn't feeling very well. And long story short, she ended up in ICU, and where they found out that she has an aneurysm, which is like a bleeding in the brain. And I was in the moment like shocked when it's their own mother, like, well, how can I help? How can I assist? And it was quite late on that day, and she was already in coma. They have already did medical treatments to heal that aneurysm. So I went in the night at 2 o'clock, I think, into the ICU, and what I applied right away are tools from the Mystery School lineage to balance the energies of the room, bring more harmony into the room with so-called sacred geometry teachings that we offer all over the world. I gave her Ensophic Reiki to parts of her brain. The professor now in August just let us know that she's in a condition that only 15% of people having that brain bleedage make it. So I'm fully convinced from my own experience that all the tools I learned with the Mystery School lineage helped her have healing on a level that supports her physical healing, also spiritual healing, mental, emotional healing in the process.
My goodness, it must have been incredibly shocking. And I know your mum, and she is a strong lady. She is we love her dearly. She's a very strong lady. And having that experience of being able to, for you, I mean, I just want to kind of break it down a little bit as well, because I know, when you receive that type of news about a close family member, it is very difficult to try and regulate or try and think properly. But you seemed like you were very clear about what you needed to do and how and what you were able to do. Could you give us a little idea of how the tools did or didn't help you in that moment of, was it, nice to be able to do something, or do you genuinely think, were you in that kind of space where you knew what to do? Could you give us a bit of insight? Because I'd be very interested.
Of course. Well, I received Empowers of Initiation in 2016 and have been religiously applying the rituals and meditations daily. And I'm I don't know if I would have been that a rock for my mother if I wouldn't have had the tools of the mystery school. Because let's face it, when a loved one goes through this, yeah, when we have someone so much on the edge, we are also on the edge, and we have to balance our emotions, how our mind, our worry about the other person, what will be, the mysterium of the unknown, and yeah, the tools of the lineage were my anchor, coming back to a 0 point of making clear decisions. Because in the ICU, I'll need to also sign some contracts when they have when they were about to make a deeper surgery on her brain, and having that connection also to my higher self and to what needs to be done, having the courage to do these decisions. I think I wouldn't have done it that well without the tools. And I also want to give a big shout out to the community of the Murder Mystery School UK, which supported me very well, our family, since such a long time. Shout out to you, and also Dr. Anne Donnelly from Ireland, and many others. And I really appreciate you all. And so, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that is the beautiful thing, that we were able to do just a small, send the distance healing and things like, and of course the prayers and the positive thoughts, and just be there. But you were the one who had to be there, and it's amazing that you were able to go in and do what you needed to do, so that it would, so that you could focus on your mum's healing. And now your mum was in a coma for quite some time. Does she have any kind of recollections, or does she have any sense of the healings, or not, or does she just, how has she kind of responded to the healings, I guess, as well? Of course, we, big shout out to the medical community, because I mean, my goodness, they have worked their magic.
For sure.
So huge, thank God, we have such amazing doctors, surgeons, and such like in the world. Thank you. Again, disclaimer: this is something additional that we're talking about to support the situation and the client. How is your mom, kind of mum responded, or what's her feelings on it?
Yeah. So there are many things I could answer here.
Yes.
Definitely big shout out to the whole doctors. I learned to appreciate the whole medical field, and they work every day in such intense energies, because you have to deal with a patient, with the relatives who are mentally and emotionally a little bit unstable because they worry so much. So huge gratitude for all of them who helped my mom. Well, there was one situation where I was on the bed of my mom. She was in coma, and I went there every day, applying every day the energy clearings and healings that I have next to her and on her, where I was talking to her ear while she was in coma, saying that she shouldn't focus on like her brain or wherever her body is hurting, but more on the energy around her aura, because also she received initiation once. And that was a very special moment, because I felt the whole energy of the room shifted, and she kind of like made a sigh and relaxed, even being in a coma. So that was very special. Um, and yeah, the Ensophic Reiki was also a big part, applying it to the temples on her brain. Yeah, also in the afterglow or aftermath of all of it, I had applied full spirit activation, which also works with the brain. I got that recommended by Divina Rita from Dr. Rita from Cape Town. So I think with all of this, yeah, she wouldn't be in that state. And the professor, again, is like one of the, I think, most amazing brain doctors in Germany. He said that she's a miracle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Really, really, really amazing. Could you tell us also, I'm intrigued, did the medical staff notice anything different, or any of the people in your, because you're creating, I know from my own personal experience, very high vibrational temple spaces that we can live in through the sacred geometry, like you say, through the rituals and all that. Did they notice anything?
Yeah, I think they really enjoyed coming into the room and also sometimes said like something feels different here. So they noticed something. They couldn't describe it, and not everybody was open, but they felt something was different. They really also expressed it. So um, what was also interesting to add to that, I was going there like every day for over a month to the ICU, and the whole energy of the ICU unit shifted over time. Like more people were happy, felt happy. There was the density was kind of like gone. So yeah, these tools really work.
What would you say to somebody who's out there? Maybe they're a full-time carer. Maybe maybe they're having to do part-time care. Maybe they're coming up to a situation where they're thinking, they may have to care for their parents or a loved one or something. And, often the focus is, well, let's make sure we have enough money and we've got a spare room and, and obviously sometimes they don't think about how managing all of this. What would you say to them, in recommendation? What type of things would you recommend specifically, with the path and the healing and the sessions that we do? What would you
I
say?
mean, as our great leader, Soren Sismus Dave says always, we can only share what we have. So I definitely would recommend everyone who works in hospitals or taking care of people have the empower the self-initiation as a base stock, because then you will learn how to manage your mind better, your emotions better, have always an anchor to be the eye of the storm of life. So you can then serve people better because you will be in a much better state. And of course, and if you then see have benefits from that, I would recommend going down the healer's path of life activation, because that will bring you to initiation, but also in Sophic Reiki, which I think everybody can learn that nowadays, because every touch, every interaction there is healing energy flowing through you. So that will heal you more, meaning you come into a more balanced, aligned state, but also everyone around you will benefit from your higher, elevated, positive energy.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just so key to have that. I know for when my nan was unwell, and I was able to just share some of the tools with her, and she noticed such a great difference that she actually wrote me a letter. She's old school, she actually wrote me a letter as a testimonial, because she really noticed that she was no longer clumsy, because she'd had a series of like kind of mini strokes, and there was definitely things that she noticed. So being able to share that with her was just so special, because it's my nan. Being able to do that for your family member is just so special. um I wanted to ask, you in yourself, because obviously I know that your mom was in intensive care for quite some time, and then she came out and being at home. So you in yourself, you have been, you know you've had to be on that on call and such like. And one thing that I've noticed with individuals that are taking care of a loved one from something as serious as this for a long period of time, they feel very depleted and can often get sick and unwell as well. How would you say, if anything, have the tools, the rituals, and any, what type of healing sessions have you required, and have you had to maintain that within yourself as well?
Yeah, it's a good question. During that phase, I went through something called the King Solomon Mind Region, which is I flew out to London and had it with you, and that really stabilized my quite um, should I say attacked mind, but it was really like the worry, the doubt, how it will all unfold. It really helped to stabilize myself. Plus, on top, of course, all the rituals, meditations that I did, but that really helped me walk through this process a lot.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's one thing that I really feel strongly about is for the carers, for people that are out there. who do this day in, day out, nurses, doctors, but also family members. They forget sometimes that they need taking care of. And I know you're a highly trained metaphysical teacher, and there you are sitting and saying, yes, of course I needed to maintain my energy structure as well, because I love that you're walking your talk. It's like, oh well, you should get healing and then I don't. That's one of the things I love about the mystery school, because we're always polishing the philosopher's stone, or getting healings and sessions and things like that as well. So that's really important, I think, for people. What else can you tell us? What else would you like to share? We're coming up to the end, so I'm just kind of making sure that we've covered anything, any points that you would like to share and make sure people know.
It is my heart's desire that more people know who they are, how great they are, and I know this path can really deliver for everyone who wants to look deeper beyond what they learned in school or society, and just want to have a better life. And I would start with life activation and powerless self-initiation. And if you look for community, you will find it here as well. And you will really be able to also support your loved ones, because you will be in a much better state, and you will bring a lot of healing to you and your family. So that's my heart's desire, to let people know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it really is. And Philip, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you and have a talk to you about, maybe they're going through that similar situation, or they're not sure, might this work? Where can they, can they email you, or what's best?
Yeah, anytime. You can find me under thehermeticway.com with my lovely wife, Brenda. We have this healing center here in the western part of Germany. Happy to talk to you if you're going to a similar situation, support you as good as I can. Would probably always direct you to a life activation to start with. But also, if you just want some support, and we have weekly meditations here, you can come by, and happy to connect with you.
Yeah, do reach out, because I know Philip is a wealth of knowledge. He's just been through this and still going through, so he can really help. So I know there's a lot of people out there who will be grateful to understand that there's something that that would support them in these difficult times. So thank you so much for sharing this. I know it's a very it's incredibly difficult thing to talk about, and we love your mum, and we're sending her big hugs, and well done, Philip, for all your decision making and getting those healings done so early on. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It was an honor to share this here with you, and thank you for your great work and service. Thank you. This is Makay.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for tuning in.